Good evening. Welcome along, everyone. I hope we're well. Had a momentary 40-second technical issue there, but it seems to have resolved itself pretty quickly. Fingers crossed you can see and hear me as normal. Thank you very much for being here. And I hope you're keeping well. Let me just listen for a second to make sure I can hear me. Yes, I can. That's a good sign. I hope you're keeping well. Good to have you all in. Steve, this guy, Simon already in the chat. Great to see you all. A Sheffield Wednesday immediately here, trying to play out from the back. It's an interesting game, this on paper, isn't it? A big Yorkshire derby, a great atmosphere, but obviously a game between two sides that had difficult starts to the season in different ways. We were very excited about Sheffield Wednesday having had their opener against Plymouth, albeit the worst defence in the league away from home, I think you'll find this season, and won 4-0. Well, then equally inadequate defensively against Sunderland last weekend away from home. Leeds have had a tough start. They're losing players galore. Daniel Farke's starting to mention it in his press conferences and his pre-match interviews. But this is a mouth-watering clash, and it's going to be a good game. What do you think the scores are going to be down in the chat? I want to know what everyone thinks. Simon, I think Sheffield Wednesday win just. Just moving the TV round. I'm intrigued by that. I obviously predicted Leeds in the show on Monday, which I pre-recorded before going up north. But then on Wednesday, obviously they lost Rutter as well. Does make it a bit more difficult, doesn't it? But it's an interesting one. So you're going 2-1 Sheffield Wednesday. Anyone else in? Let us know in the chat. What do you think the score's going to be? A Sheffield Wednesday put an early ball into the box and it's cleared away. And of course, let us know if you are watching any of the other games this evening. And there you go. You wondered if I'm the only host in. No, I'm not. Charlie's in as well. And he's keeping across his favourite league, the Northern Irish one. Oh, Leeds getting themselves in a bit of trouble at the back. Get away with it. It's out of the way for I was going to say a throw, but no foul given. And the ball stays in play. Jimmo's going 1-0 Leeds. Welcome in, Jimmo. Good to have you here. Steve's gone 3-1 Leeds. You're just copying me now, Steve, aren't you? So you can beat me by a point each week. Just go different on the Burnley one. And yeah, Charlie, David Healy to Rafe Rovers. That seems strange to me. Wouldn't you just stay at Linfield? That doesn't seem like a step up. I don't know. This guy, you've gone 3-2 Leeds. Tough game. I don't know if there's going to be that many goals. I hope so. You copy me, Steve. That's physically impossible. Simon thinks Swansea will win the Welsh Derby. Sunday, isn't it? But yeah, definitely. I would say Swansea for a number of reasons. Cardiff have started arguably the worst in the league in terms of performance. Well, results. Maybe just individual mistakes. As Leeds are in here. Cross the box. Good save by Beadle to smother it. But Swansea generally have the better record in that fixture. They've looked good at times. I think, yeah, Swansea, definite favourites for that game. I think it could be comfortable. Jumbo, hello. We'll be here a few minutes for my FM15 sim. I'm putting the winner of each top league loaded in. Wow. You're going to be a busy man this evening. Are Cardiff struggling financially? I can't imagine so, because they must be paying a fair amount in wages to some of those old Legends team they've got. Chris and Liam, welcome into both of you. Chris, 2-2's your prediction. Lovely stuff. Getting my excuses in early. Brilliant. You don't even mention me when I kick your ass. I always mention you, don't I? Did I not mention you this week? Because I had you on the list. I mean, in my defence, it was such a long and extensive list. I was sort of rushing through it, so the video wasn't an hour long, but let me just check my notes, because I've still got it here. Steve on 10 with Swansea. I can't have missed you, surely. Oh, wow. Steve, I'm so sorry. You're on the list of people to mention as well. I don't know if that's better or worse. Is it better that I've remembered you, or worse that I can't read a screen right in front of me? I've got you level with Tim and Bobby on 10. With you having Swansea as your perfect score. God, that is bad. Maybe a concern. I don't know how to read anymore. There we go. But you were joint second, just behind on perfect scores. Charlie, you happy with a flurry of Luton signings? Well, you should tell me from a neutral point of view. I Sheffield Wednesday in down the left, deflected behind for a corner. Yeah, from a neutral point of view, it'd be interesting, but I think it'll be. It was imperative we got the centre half in. McGuinness had been linked for a while. Corner's headed away by Leeds. Uh, I think the German signing will be an interesting one. He's obviously got a pretty good resume, and I mentioned it in yesterday's FM stream over on the Twitch channel. I think that might be a sign of Pelly out this summer because he's that sort of runner of a midfielder. And I just feel we're going to be a little saturated in that position now, especially with Liam Walshin as well. I do fear for Pelly being here at the end of the summer, unless there's obviously going to be a couple of big departures we don't know about. Maybe it's the plan that they know Chong maybe's going to go or someone like that, and that's the way to deal with it. Liam, you're going for 2-2 or 2-1? 2-1 Wednesday. There you go. Ball into the box again. Sheffield Wednesday on the front foot early. Leeds not started the best. And giving the ball away in their own half a lot, which isn't helping them. I really like this Ingelsson in midfield. That they signed from the third tier in Germany. Really like him. Let us know what you expect for your teams this weekend. I always ask this at the start. Who are you going to watch? What games are you watching on telly? Whichever it may be. What are your plans for a weekend of football? And thank you very much for being in. Chuck a thumbs up if you haven't. We had a Preston Manager special this week. And we had the predictions for this weekend, which you can find the video on the channel too. And you've still got time to get involved for the other 11 games in the comments as well. This guy, I've gone 2-2 or 1-1 for the Welsh Derby. Interesting. I think the first two podcast predictions we did for the Derby, I predicted a draw and a Cardiff win, and Swansea won them both. And I've just gone for Swansea every time since. Yeah, Simon, it's been a long week. I'll be honest with you. I've not coped well this week. The extra exercise, the plenty of travel, which hasn't helped as well. There's a thing, I'm relatively normal health-wise. When I have long train travel, I just basically become narcoleptic for a week. So that's something we're going to have to get used to moving forward. Plenty more weeks to come. I'm sure you'll beat me in most of them as well. It's been very stressful on Twitter Clarets this week. Yeah, there's the pandemonium of players going out. We had the pandemonium of no players going in. And then a little bit of common sense prevails in the end. Jambo Motherwell away on Sunday. Hope you enjoy that. Down the right go Leeds. Bogle's cross is blocked. Corner kick. First one for them. And James getting in behind there, causing a bit of a threat. Charlie, thoughts on the Kaminsky masterclass this week? I mean, what more needs to be said? What more needs to be said? It was, once you're on a yellow card, it's absolutely bonkers to do that. But James Shea was excellent when he came on. But we mentioned it last week, didn't we? Or the first week with Kaminsky. A couple of those Burnley goals at the start wasn't ideal. So I think it might not be the worst thing. Wow, that stat for Leeds is incredible. Last 112 corners, no goals, and then they nearly score from one right on there. Chris, I'm going to watch Carlisle keep playing terrible football away to MK Dons. Whereabouts are you based, Chris? Because if you're anywhere near Carlisle, that is one hell of a trip. And if so, what's the route? Not football for me this weekend, out all day, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, there's no live game for me 2 weekends in a row. I know I went to Guiseley v Blythe on Tuesday night, which was not the best use of 13 quid I'll ever have. But, yeah, going to be a weekend off for me. And then Luton a Friday night again next week, which is a bit of a pain. So I'm going to double header it next weekend. Friday night for Luton QPR. And then I'll probably go to Hitchin's FA Cup tie on Saturday. Simon Wigan, I hope, beat Crawley at home. Dumbarton to draw against Arbroath. That'd be an interesting game, wouldn't it? As Leeds starting to get a few little counters here, but not really finding a way through yet. Down the gate tomorrow. City to beat Coventry 3-1. That is ambitious. I know you weren't, you and a few of the Bristol City fans weren't happy with my comments on Bristol City's defence, but I do fear for it. The conceding of late goals ever since we started doing these back in 2020. Just been a bit of a constant theme. It's a worry for me. Liam, as long as you're doing it a healthy way, that's great news. Obviously, I've finally got the 8 years of injury weight off this year, so good on you. Keep it going, but make sure you do it the healthy way. Don't starve yourself for the good stuff, or it'll end in disaster. This guy, how do you feel Schmodix has gone to Ipswich? Probably strengthens my case for what I said pre-season with Blackburn. No, I am impressed with Ahashi, and Vyman obviously signed after I predicted him to finish 22nd. But it's a huge loss. I liken it a little bit to what happened with Cheltenham the year before in League One, where they finished comfortably, but they were relatively low scoring, and Alfie May got half of them goals. And Schmodic's very similar for Blackburn. And if you end up in that position again, does it just happen one too many times in the end? That's the only worry. At some point, when you keep selling your stars, I mean, if you take out Adam Morton in January as well, that's essentially 2 this summer now. If it's not this year, it's going to happen eventually. But John Eustace is doing an excellent job. But yeah, Ipswich are interesting, aren't they? Because they've basically done an expensive version of what Luton did last year, which is we signed all the best players we could find in the Championship from the year before for 5 million or under, and they're just doing it without a budget. As another ball comes across the box from Leeds, just not really got that goal scoring now without Matteo Joseph, have they? I hope you've all got your fantasy EFL teams up to date as well. I'm flying in that at a minute, up in the top 4. I got all the teams done now. Just need to put it in a readable way. Good luck with that, Jumbo. It will take a while. I do love a an FM spreadsheet. The sky is falling, even though Odebear's the only one gone from players that have started the 2 games so far. Steve, you can't beat a crisis, can you? A bit of doomsday. I am surprised Koleosho's not been nicked from somewhere. And obviously Goodman scored last weekend, and he's a bit of a legend, but again, wouldn't be a huge loss for you moving forward. You're in Carlisle, Chris. 5-hour journey. 6 hours to Gillingham on the opening day and lost 4-1. At least you got it last week, though, eh? But yeah, Gillingham and MK on paper, not the 2 easiest away days to start. But MK have started woefully, which, to be fair, our very own Craig Savage did predict. Charlie, sorry, Nobby Solano parked the bus on Tuesday. That's not even the terminology. The first half, honestly, they barely left their own half of the pitch. And how the BBC watched that and then decided that they're going to be the next FA Cup tie on TV, I do not know. There you go. Nice ground with good pubs nearby. Which one's that, Jumbo? I've gone for Luton to beat Preston 3-0. The problem this guy, I was quite happy. I had Luton 2-0 on Monday. I didn't want them to appoint the manager before the weekend. But hopefully we can still get the win. And we've got a few defenders back this week, so it should be a full senior team. Well, Simon, they've played 4 games so far, Nobby Solano's Blythe. They've drawn 3 and lost 1. Having come down from the National League North narrowly, they looked really poor. I'll be honest with you, they looked poor on Tuesday night. I'm not sure he was there for his coaching ability more than name. Oh, Carlisle, Jambo. Carlisle was a great away day, but we won promotion that day, so it was a little bit of a skewed vision, I would say, of it, or a skewed memory. Lots of exercise, 1 big meal a day, protein bar for breakfast, 1 of the light bites from the book. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we just have now probably 2. Now we're getting to the latter stage, 2 normal meals and then like a smoothie or a protein bar for breakfast as well, yeah. And just walking a bit more makes a difference. You can still do it, Liam, the EFL Fantasy. You just wouldn't be able to pick players that have played tonight or yesterday, which is only 2 games. So from the other 34 games, you can still do it now. Hence I mentioned it here. Oh, this guy, no. You've done it as well. Luton striker Carlton Morris as striker and captain this week. I did it against Burnley. Huge regret. Hopefully you've got the right week for it. I've just got to put Champo, Europa World Cup, and Euros. How many times each team won, Jambo? Nice. Let me get the Fantasy EFL up as well. Another ball in from Sheffield Wednesday, dealt with. I have gone bold. I've gone for James Shea in goal. I don't think many will be in there. And I have put Morris in as well, but not on a captaincy role this week. I've put Will Grigg in up front as my vice. I've got Brownhill in at Sunderland because I still think they'll score. I've gone for Lee Molyneux of Doncaster at home to Morecambe as my skipper. Hellick at home to Shrewsbury because I think they'll score from a set piece and keep a clean sheet. Jimmy Dunn at home to Plymouth for QPR because Plymouth looked woeful on the road last time. And I've gone for QPR to beat Plymouth and Huddersfield to beat Shrewsbury as my two in the Fantasy EFL. So this is a week where it could all start to go wrong for me. We will wait and see. Goal Carrick. Oh, Charlie, I forgot you'd be watching the Northern Ireland games, aren't you? There's also a National League game as well. Let me just check the score there. Bayer Leverkusen have just got a second in their match against Gladbach. I know that Maka said earlier that Xhaka had scored a screamer early on. Florian Wirtz has got one now too. PSG, unsurprisingly, are off to a flyer. Asensio running the show there. And Dagenham and Redbridge Halifax is the other game. And for some reason, the Sky Video printer is not updating there. So let's see what the score is. Dagenham 1-0 up. They've just scored. Josh Reese, the former Luton youth product as well. Back post header for Sheffield Wednesday. It's bobbling around in the 6-yard box. And Messier clears the ball for a throw. Glentoran all over the shop again. Charlie, you really want Feeney in trouble, don't you? Chris, I expect to win at MK Dons on form. Run a derby. Worst derby I've watched. Awful quality. We have a good enough squad, but Paul Simpson's past his sell-by date. The word dinosaur doesn't pop up as much these days, does it, with all these progressive managers? Messier, unconvincing punch again. Sheffield Wednesday, though, very clearly trying to pepper the box. And Sheffield Wednesday forcing Leeds to deal with an aerial bombardment at the minute. Is Arca still around at South Shields? I'm not sure he is, you know. I'm sure he moved on. Who was it who was at South Shields? He was recently manager there, but who is it now? South Shields FC? No, it's not. So Elliot Dickman replaced him in January, and now he's been made permanent head coach. Do it after the stream, Liam. No worries. Yeah, Jumbo, be interested. Get it in the Discord later. Jimmy Dunn, indeed. If Brownhill scores 3 straight games, I'd be kind of shocked. It's not so much that, Steve, to be honest. It's more that I think Burnley will score goals on the counter against Sunderland. And maybe he'll be driving forward, get a couple of assists. Be a key part of the pitch as well. Looked like that was offside for Nonto, but oh yeah, it does eventually go up the flag. Bit of a delay there. I've got Bamford on the other side and Dan James as vice. Think the two of them will do well this week. Bamford's out, isn't he? Bamford's out, unfortunately, this guy. He's tweaked his hamstring, so he's not in the squad today. But you should be able to take him out for someone else on there. Dan James has started okay on the break, though. Did you see the horrendous challenge in the TNS game? Charlie, we watched it. We watched it yesterday. We were talking about it on the stream. It was... By the way, let me just say this off the bat. What a performance from TNS. For a Welsh side to do that and possibly make history by securing group stage European football. Incredible effort. Didn't flatter them at all, that scoreline. But yeah, that tackle. How you can go through VAR as well and not get a red card for that. It sort of strengthens the argument that VAR is pointless at many stages, doesn't it? For subjective things. And you know that I'm in that camp. Keep it for offsides. Keep it for mistaken identity. Those things are matter of fact. when it gets to subjective decisions, then there's no point because we see farces like that. I was at Carlisle Barrow a couple of years ago. It was 0-0 and the game was boring. Charlie Kluges has been outstanding against his former club. I forgot about that, Charlie. I forgot he was at Carrick. He'll be up for that one against Feeney, won't he? In fact, is it Feeney? It's not Feeney anymore, is it? I can't remember. Through ball from Leeds on the attack. Well defended. And then given straight back to them on the edge of the box. Shots blocked. It's fallen into the centre forward. Beadle is out like a flash. Simpson's won 18 games out of his last 60. Got us relegated with no fight. Horrible stats, any other manager be gone. I wanted him gone since December. Careful what you wish for. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Carlisle weren't competitive last year. But he probably has to be given sort of 10 of this season to see how he goes. Especially given the fact that Carlisle probably didn't improve their squad enough last year. I mean, I thought they were going to finish bottom for that reason. Charlie, yeah, there was a part of me in the back of my mind thinking, no, it's not Feeney anymore, is it? Who's the Carrick manager? Let's have a look. Stuart King. I don't think I'm familiar. Quite annoyed that Albert Watson's still stealing a living. Lovely stuff. This is great. See, we do the Championship watch-alongs, and the best thing with the Friday night ones is Charlie is the Northern Irish correspondent on those nights. I think there's a Northern Irish night the next one we're doing as well. The season Carlisle went up, they were favourites to go down. I mean, look at Crawley last year. Crawley were the outright favourites to finish bottom of League 2. Look where they finished. Yeah, Chris, this is a season where he has to get in the top 7, really, particularly in an open league. And it's sort of the same for all the relegated clubs. There's going to be that pressure to reach the top 7. Oh, Leeds trying to play out from the back. Almost got caught. But they've worked their way out now. And this is the benefit of it. If you get away, you get a 3-on-3 like this. Nonto's got to find the ball right. It's a brilliant one. Joseph's in 1-on-1. Got to be a penalty. And he doesn't need to. Referee plays an exceptional advantage. And Brendan Aronson puts it in. Do you know what? Fair play to the referee, especially considering it's Simon Hooper, who last season when I watched him at Luton, didn't know what the advantage rule was. But this year he's got it spot on. It's an excellent decision because it would have had to have been a penalty and probably a red card in truth because it wasn't a genuine attempt at the ball. But Leeds United nicked one, and that is the benefit of playing out from the back. Joe Roden stood on the ball, almost got caught. And 15 seconds later, Aronson's running away in celebration. He laid the ball off to Nonto. It's a brilliant pass from Nonto to Joseph. The touch wasn't great. He was hacked down. It would have been a penalty. And he signalled the advantage as well, referee. I didn't know you knew that existed. Ah, wonderful. Wonderful stuff. And it's 1-0 to Leeds United. Let me get that score up to date because I know you all like to tell me I forget it most of the time. Leeds United have the opener here. I was a bit surprised on that note. There were no other EFL games tonight. There's normally one in the lower leagues as well in this TV deal, isn't there? Our previous owners, we actually got promoted under them, but they were awful owners. Always the way, isn't it? Do you see Stockport today? Oliver Norwood. Some signing that is. Angelo Bonner's gone to Watford, which didn't cheer Charlie up. And neither does watching Albert Watson play by the looks of it. This guy, I might go to Carlisle game this week, but I'm thinking to go to Blackpool v Cambridge instead. Nice. Yeah, we've got a few new or rarely visited grounds to tick off in September, which we're looking forward to. Just a shame that Plymouth Luton's been moved to Friday night. Really wanted to do that one, and Saturday it would have been done, but there you go. Leeds on the break again. Firpo's wiped out after he plays the ball. Sheffield Wednesday looking a little bit susceptible to those breaks, and it was Ingleson, the man I praised earlier. You know how it works when I praise someone. But lovely to see so many of you in. Thank you very much for coming along this evening. Really enjoying this game. It's got that intensity to it. Charlie, I really like Todd Bonner. Gutted he's gone to Watford. Not a Luton fan, but he could do better than that. He was a Rolls Royce. There's a few there now, aren't they? They've bought in Sissoko as well. Just a few good professionals. I mean, you've got to be fair. Tom Cleverley's done some good work early doors, and the performances have been interesting in different ways. Steve, last night's game was the League 2 game this week. I suppose. So they had extra coverage. Could they not have put a League 1 one on Friday night? I know I shouldn't really be complaining from a fan point of view, but we've got one to watch. That's the main thing. Just surprised there's nothing else on. Still 1-0 in the National League for Dagenham v Halifax. It's going to be an interesting season for Aronson. It looks like he's just starting to find a way back in. He was one of those I found a bit more impressive last year. Had Barry Barronan at centre mid instead of Aronson. I was going to put him in the team. Oh, Glenn Soren, Charlie, right on cue. Valencia got FM'd by Celta Vigo a bit earlier tonight as well. And the Leverkusen steam train showing no signs of slowing down. Guess who lost his man? Charlie, I don't even know if I can believe you at these anymore because you're so desperate to find something he's done wrong. St Mirren away moved to September from midweek in December. It's a smart move. I might be able to make it. I'm a bit annoyed. I was due to go to the St Albans game next Saturday, but they've switched it with the reverse fixture. So I think it will be Hitchin v Berkhamsted in the FA Cup qualifying for me. And then myself, Charlie and Craig, as a trio, are attending a game together for the first time in a couple of weeks. Since what? God, I don't even know since the last one. Might have been Forest Luton a couple of years earlier. Oh no, it would have been the FA Cup tie when it's St Albans Forest Green. Edge of the box, Ingleson! Blocked by the Leeds defender, scrambling across his line. And offside the second one. But yeah, we're going to the England Under-21 game at Kenilworth Road. Azafori, welcome in. Lovely to see familiar faces about. I hope you're well. He's like a deck chair back there. Literally doesn't move. I'm sure he'd love that description. Maybe he's trying to get an interview with him, Charlie. I reckon he'd like some of these descriptions of himself. I was just having a quick look to see what the benches were like for tonight for the two sides. Because obviously it's been mentioned by Barker that he's not got much. And I mean, to be fair, there's two goalkeepers there. There's 3 youth players. He's still got Gelhardt, Piru, Rothwell, Byram, and then Carl Darlow as one of the keepers. The Wednesday bench is actually pretty decent this season. But there's still a little bit of vulnerability in those defensive areas. You're always going to be liable when you've got people like, well, Charlie, you didn't see who was sliding in for those goals. Iorfa and Deshaun Bernard getting caught out at the back. And we all know one of those is susceptible on this channel, don't we? Yeah, I'm intrigued to see a few of you going to or watching MK Carlisle tomorrow. I'm just going to set out my football plan, actually, as I've got a weekend where I will be doing stuff, but it'll be in front of the TV, so I can get away with it. See what the viewing will be tomorrow. The lunchtime games, I'll probably go for the Stevenage one again, although Stockport Bristol Rovers could be entertaining with the players they've brought in. Bristol City Coventry, I think, is probably the best of the Championship games, although QPR will probably have a comfortable win and a few goals against Plymouth. And later on in the day, Villa Arsenal at 5:30. There's not any other English games really clashing with that, are there? And what have we got in the evening? Not a lot, really. Now the Serie A games aren't on there anymore. Red card Carrick. Studs up. Horrendous challenge. Get off. Oh, dear. Where's that come from? Yeah, Zafori, I'd assumed you were the same one. Good to have you in. How many of you are actually watching this Sheffield Wednesday Leeds game while we're going? As Leeds win it back in a Wednesday half, now they're the ones camped in. Dan James shoots from miles out. Didn't quite have the power on it. After the first few games, has your opinion massively changed on any team? Jumbo, you're not. No, you're busy simming though, aren't you? So yeah, I would say maybe a couple. It's too early to really go massively different on anyone, but I I would say my biggest worry from my predictions is probably MK Dons now. I think Craig might have been right with the fallout from the playoffs last year. They've not replaced the goals of Max Dean, and they look just as ropey as the back as they did in the two playoff games. In the Championship, it's probably Cardiff, if we're being honest. Because I just didn't expect them to be quite so bad at the start. Steve's watching. You get loads of games over there now as well, don't you? You've been beneficiaries of the TV deal too. As Osama gets in down the left, crosses blocked. He's defending those wide areas well, to be fair, with Firpo and Bogle so far. Allowing the floated crosses in and stopping the ones from the byline. Golden Tour and Carrick all over the shop. I wonder who was at fault, Charlie. I think Carlisle and MK Dons will be a 2-2 draw or a 2-0 win to MK. There's not a sign of an MK clean sheet yet, but then Carlisle weren't great on the road on the opening day, as Gruev just goes for a little bit of a late challenge there. Yeah, Zafori, we've got a few of the old guard over. Sty, Jambo and Liam, all regulars over there. And Steve's taking a break from his Jablonic Czechia domination. Lovely. Right, back to my weekend planning. Sunday, I definitely want to watch the Welsh Derby. I'll probably watch St Mirren Celtic after our live stream. And the Premier League games don't look great. And Napoli Bologna in the evening, that'll be fun. That'll be my three. As Nonto's been given the ball, Sheffield Wednesday starting to make the same habit as the Sunderland game, giving it away in their own half. Great challenge from Max Lowe. But again, just not getting out with the ball quickly enough. Jamal Lowe was the man back there doing all the work this time. Bogle not penalised for handball. He literally punched it, but he was on his way down. And Bank Holiday Monday, there's not a lot of football on Monday, is there? We were thinking about going to Dorking St Albans, but the trains are heavily reduced that day due to engineering works, which doesn't help us. And then a reminder, next Thursday night on the YouTube, the Twitch channel, sorry, the FM channel, we will be watching Hearts v Victoria Pelsham, which is on a knife edge at 1-0. There's a few of you watching it. I'm watching it with my TV is lagging bad internet. Yeah, this guy's my problem. When we move, I'll be relying on the streaming version rather than the live TV version, which may cause issues for these, but we'll see. Just don't talk to me about our Champions League season, Steve. I'd go as far as to say the earlier stages of Europe I'm finding easier than the domestic tables. Sheffield Wednesday break down the right. We were watching a highlight, so we didn't see much of it, but Meslier deals with it easily. Yeah, loads of regulars in Safori. And good to hear it's better today than recent ones. Avoid the food at Stadium MK if you're an away fan. The Moo Burger's horrendous. Yeah, they need to get a Papa John stall in the away end, don't they? That's still the worst food I think I've ever had in a football ground. I'm trying to remember which way round it was. I think it was Craig who had the incredibly burnt hot dog. And I had the sausage roll with the uncooked pastry. I think the Welsh derby could be a good game, but I think it could be one-sided as well. Which has been my worries. I mean, you have to predict Millwall's game of the week at the minute, don't you? Every week, the way they're playing. Which game did I go for the most goals? Let's have a quick look. So this weekend, my joint most goals are tonight. I went 3-1 Leeds. I've gone Burnley 3-1 at Sunderland, and I've gone Watford Derby 2 apiece. Oh, and Hull Millwall 2 apiece as well. So yeah, I've got a few games with 4 goals in. The Moo Burger was barely cooked. A good bet could have had the back on his feet. Jeez. Yeah, I would say the same for that sausage roll there that time, to be fair. The pastry was sopping. It was that wet. I mean, it was still dough. Let's put it that way. In FM15, I'm going to have to sim like 3 weeks because the World Cup's currently on. Jambo, I always getting that in the reviews as well. Villarreal, Danjuma. Back there and back in the team straight away, is he? Interesting. Would Killy right to be aggrieved about the second goal for Copenhagen? Not seen it. No, I haven't seen it either, Sai. Because obviously it was on that 12 quid streaming service. Be an interesting one though, wouldn't it? Let's here come Leeds on the right-hand side. Really penning Wednesday back. They've kept the crowd quiet. This is turned into a professional job now. Few fans just trying to get behind the home team, but Leeds breaking away. Bogle's ball towards James is good. Can he hook it first time? Beats Beadle. Headed away at the back post, and then Bannon flicks it on. Really good spell for Leeds. They weathered the storm at the start, and now they're in the ascendancy on the left-hand side again. Norwich Sheffield United will be a tight game. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think I went for the old famous Championship's favourite scoreline in that one. As Firpo on the edge of the box goes wide. No one delivering yet, though. Extra rare is an option at Stadium MK. I don't think any of the Cook's options are available, so that's the problem. What I would say is there are a number of great restaurants and establishments just outside of it, so pick one of them. And there's also a lot on Asda and M&S with various food options in too. The Asda's got restaurants in as well. Great ball in from Leeds. Headed away at the front, the back post, then headed back in towards the front post. And Sheffield Wednesday just can't get out. I've no idea how you do it, Safori. Some strong alliteration you've got. But I'm glad to hear today's a bit better. Hopefully on the onwards and upwards spiral now. Fingers crossed for that. And obviously we're always here with our streams, wherever they are. Just to have a light-hearted hour or so and take mind off other things. Yeah, I was kind of intrigued this guy by the Sheffield United one because they were so comfortable last week, but they were complacent towards the end. But it does look like there's potentially more top signings coming in. A Sheffield Wednesday breakaway down the left. Is that a foul? I don't think so. Gruev all the way back. Didn't really need to slow down there. Ah, that's good to hear. It was lovely to see so many of you in as well. I am pleasantly surprised by the numbers we've managed to have in these first couple of streams. And it's always nice to have a bit of chat while watching the football. It's a cheaper version of being at the pub, isn't it? We are only 5 minutes from the break, though. The half has flown away. Just having a look at the other games for tomorrow, because we were looking at St Albans before. Tried to see of the 3 p.m. games, what one should have been on TV. Charlton Bolton, I'm surprised that didn't get a nod. As Bogle makes a run in behind, Beadle again, very quick out. Steve Blacken beer. Oh, well, that's no different for me. I'm having the same drink I would be if I was there. I'm surprised Charlton Plymouth hasn't got a whirl. Except for the part where my flight from Cleveland to New York got cancelled and I had to drive 7 hours, 45 minutes. Blimey, that is some trip. Not a problem in this country, as everywhere's within a few hours on the train, and you only have to wait about 3 years to get a train that's affordable. Few minutes, then you've got your results, Jumbo. Lovely. I'll be ready for the second half then, because we've got 5 to go in this one. The two fullbacks for Leeds defending really well. Gruev's backing them up on both sides so well. Championship tomorrow. I think the 2 best 3 p.m. games I've gone for the last 2 ones. Then League 2. I'll tell you what, Fleetwood Gillingham's not a bad little game. Cheltenham and Wimbledon could be a few in that. Bradford, Bromley. Bromley have started well, haven't they? I know Charlie's trying to secure a Bromley interview, but they have started like a house on fire. Michael Cheek has stepped up well. Yeah, no Scottish Championship tonight, but I think it's just because BBC Scotland have got more games at the minute for Europe and that, haven't they? So they probably save it for quieter weeks. But looking forward to them starting up again. And on the front of these live streams here, we will be back the first Friday after the international break. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I might have gone a week too soon. Is it Stoke Hull on that Friday the 13th September? Hull Sheffield United, sorry, on the 13th. And then the 20th, the week after. Is that Hull Stoke? That's Stoke v Hull. That's the one we were going for. Sevilla have equalised against Villarreal. Sanchez makes it 8 in the 8th minute. It's 1 apiece. Takes me that long to get through Georgia. Surprise, no Friday night championship game yet. Hopefully soon. Is the Welsh Derby on TV? It's the Sky game on Sunday. This guy in the UK. 3 p.m. kickoff. So you've got the 2 Premier League games on Sky Sports Premier League, and then you've got St Mirren Celtic followed by Swansea Cardiff on Sky Sports Football. Yeah, Steve stateside as well. Yeah, Jambo, that's the only disappointment on YouTube. I can't determine when they turn up. I've put them on appear only conservatively, so they don't come up as often. Lower earnings potential, less interrupted viewer experience. So hopefully you don't get too many. Has anyone in here listened to that BBC podcast, Confessions of a Match Fixer? Yeah, I'm going to have to listen to that, Charlie. Especially, I mean, your last recommendation was the J. Lloyd Samuel documentary on Netflix, which was just bonkers. But yeah, I mentioned I did see a couple of clips on I think it might have been one of the social medias promoting that podcast. It was an intriguing couple of minutes, so I'll definitely listen to it. In League One, both Stockport and Wrexham have had a good start. Yeah, and both have signed lots of players since we did our preview. The fact that Norwood's just gone to Stockport is ridiculous. But yeah, I said I think Stockport will finish higher of the 2, but I think both will be very, very comfortable, probably in the top half. It's just whether one can push in that top 6. Uh, J. Loy Samuel, that's a whole new podcast. Oh, it's insane. Wasn't there a player got 9 months ban today for betting again in EFL? Was there? Almost kept quiet, wasn't it? Let's see if we can find it. I've been at work, so I've not really seen it. Oh, Brighton have agreed Sia O'Reilly from Celtic. That's about the biggest favour Rangers could have hoped for. What about the Branthwaite to Liverpool as well? That's a pretty interesting one. Sheffield Wednesday work down the right. We're in the second of 2 minutes added. A little bit of trickery on the right wing. It'd be a very unjust equaliser if they got one here, but it'd be great timing. Has the Sevilla goal just been chalked off? Yeah, it's back to 1-0 there. VAR must have had a little look. Oh, lovely cross in for Sheffield Wednesday, but the flag goes up. And that should be about that. I can't find the ban news. Share the results after the break, Jumbo. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll go and take a breather in a couple of minutes. There is the halftime whistle. It is 1-0 to Leeds United, who have been very good after weathering the early storm. Looks a bit more like last season for them, albeit with a slightly weaker team on paper. Masaba's had a couple of threats down the left. Jamal Lowe's not really had that much service. It's going to be a big team talk for Danny Roll there. Jambo's bringing a who am I. And in the second half, a reminder for everyone in, we will do a You're the Ref. Just because you've got to give Charlie a reason to tear his hair out on a Friday evening, haven't you? Austin Booth from Torquay got banned, I think. Oh, okay, so a little bit lower. Let's have a look. Bets between 2017 and 2021. Oh, so when he was doing it, he was playing 7th tier and below. And claimed he didn't know that the rule stretched down below the National League South. They feel more needs to be done to make semi-professional players aware of the rules around football match betting, yeah. I think that's a fair point. He's doing a lot of mitigating work. So I feel 9 months seems a little bit harsh, but I guess we don't know the nature of them, do we? Yeah, Zafori. I could see it had been chalked off there by the looks of it. The only other non-honest football podcast recommendation I'd make is the one with Paul Warner and Carl Robinson. Bit dated now, but it followed them for half season. Yeah, that was during was it that in behind closed doors, or was that the year after it came back to fans? But yeah, following them towards the end of the year. We will take a quick breather in a minute because I'm almost out of drink as well. And we'll just get our quick update before we go off to get a drink that Dagenham and Redbridge v Halifax is still the same score. But for some reason, it's not on a video printer today. It is still 1-0, 2 minutes into the second half. And Halifax have described their own performance as poor so far, which is perhaps not ideal. Right, we're going to go and top up the drink. We're going to take a quick 3 or 4 minute break. Top up your drinks, get yourself some snacks. We'll be here with a football chat in the second half. Jambo's going to deliver the Who Am I? I'll be delivering a You're the Ref, and we'll have a little bit of fun. So make sure you've got those drink tops up and you're back for us in a couple of minutes, as we'll be here for the second half as well. And we're going to have plenty of fun. I'll try and run the ads now, so hopefully they won't pop up then as well. See you in a couple. And we're back. And Steve, I cannot answer your question, unfortunately, because you might just have to go and find a way. I don't have a waiter service either, unfortunately. I have to do my own work on that one. Speaking about goals, we've got one in the German game as well. Gladbach have got one back against Bayer Leverkusen. Elvedi with a goal. In fact, has it just been disallowed again? It says no goal, Borussia Mönchengladbach. Or was that from the previous one? No, that was the previous one. So this one does count. It's 2-1. Gladbach back in it. Basically a full fixture list in the Welsh Premier League today as well. Cardiff met Uni a couple up at Brighton Ferry. Bala beating Flint Town. George Newell amongst the goals again. Bit of an FM man for those who've watched before. Carnarvon one up at Newtown. Aberystwyth one up against Barry. And obviously the New Saints have had their game postponed because of their antics yesterday in the Europa. Still 2-0 PSG, still 1-0 Dagenham and Redbridge, and still 1-0 here at Leeds United. Jambo, yeah, Harvey said he had a game today. Had to go somewhere, fair enough. Simon's made 2 to keep him going, lovely stuff. I'll be honest with you, I'm flagging today, so I'll probably be going straight to bed after this. I need to catch up for the dodgy hotel sleep and the day of train travel. Welcome back all. There is a family playing football on the concourse at Carrick's ground. I've got so many questions. I mean, you'd think there are cheaper ways to do that, wouldn't you? No, yeah, he said Hollywell were playing away somewhere. I can't remember who the home team was. Let's have a look. Hollywell FC. Ley Miners they're at. Can we get a score update, do you reckon? Oh, full time. 30 minutes ago. Ley Welfare 2, Hollywell Town 5. Tell you what, he's had a bit of a thriller there, hasn't he, R. Harvey? That is an interesting one. Oh, Charlie, at non-league level, you can take footballs into a football ground. Definitely no issue. I mean, I agree with you, but other than professional levels, I don't think you're getting a ball taken off you when you go in. PSG have got a third, have they? I think he said he's got a development game Sunday as well. Have a look at the PSG. Barcola again. It's actually a good game. Might not be now with 11v10. And obviously, if you're in England this weekend, you've got a bank holiday and an extra day off, haven't you, as well, which is a nice bonus. Just a shame there's not more football on the Monday on TV. That's what I do miss about the TNT football coverage for the National League and that. I hope they haven't lost the FA Trophy and FA Vars as well. If that's gone to the zone, that'd be a disaster. As we await the second half here still, there are only a couple of minutes added on, so we should be near enough ready to go, but there's no sign of players returning. Really annoyed me that. Feels like Craig's dislike of Mexican waves. Yeah, that's on a different scale, I would say. Oh, I've just seen that Xhaka goal. That is some strike. They're showing the clips of it. Not a bad goal at all, that one. Been one hell of a renaissance for him there, hasn't it? Oh, that is stupendous. Charlie's kids, though, isn't it? I mean, it's just getting them in an environment. If they get so excited at going to watch football that they didn't want to play it as well, I think that's a good thing. I think maybe you're showing your age there. Ah, Jambo's got the Who Am I out. Here we go. Who am I? I played with Matthew Ryan, Bobby Firmino, Alvaro Morata, Javier Mascherano, and Genie Wijnaldum. See, the problem with this is, Jambo, this is almost immediately, let me pin it as well, almost immediately going to make us think that it's a Liverpool link. And I know it's not going to be. I know it's not. So I don't know why I'm getting worried about it. Charlie, here he goes. You couldn't leave him alone, could you? You couldn't leave him alone. Nobody can escape the Who Am I, no matter the platform. Absolutely. Right, let's try and put this together. It's got, I say it's got to be a Liverpool link. It just hasn't, has it? Let's try and work on the other two. So we've got Morata and Ryan. This is not an easy one. The problem with Ryan as well is he's been at so many clubs. He's got a couple in England. He's got, where else was he? Copenhagen. He's Roma now, isn't he? He was at AZ Alkmaar. Sociedad. He was at Valencia. He was at, wasn't he? Jeez. I'm not sure where I go with this. We are about to kick off at long last. And there we go. Second half is underway. 4-0 Zafori. PSG. Blimey. Is Charlie really complaining about kids kicking a football? This is what I have to deal with, Steve. This is the problem. We get together and we have that 40-minute Zoom meeting to try and record a podcast. And Craig spends 10 minutes moaning about Wingfest. Charlie spends 10 moaning about kids kicking a football or someone smiling. And then Charlie's the Roy Keane of the group. He's the Roy Keane. Carrick have scored with 10 men. That'll cheer him up. Go on, say Albert Watson got it. Go on. Will Leverkusen do another unbeatable season? Oh, no, not 2 in a row. It's impossible. Jambo, Jambo, I just need to know if there's a Liverpool link because I need it to be quashed early. Just tell me there's not, and then I can move on with trying to work it out. Hakimi got the 4th for PSG. There you go. Sheffield Wednesday had to have a shot on target. Didn't realise that. There we go. 5-0 PSG. Oh dear. Not much fun, is it, the French league? Not at the top anyway. The problem is the Matt Ryan link can be literally anywhere. I mean, the Morata link isn't much better, is it? Because he's been at about 100 clubs as well. So it does make it hard with a couple of them. I'll tell you who didn't see it, Charlie. The family paid 50 quid to play football. Oh, God. David Silva. That's an interesting shout. I'm trying to think of other potential multiple links, but Jumbo's generally trying to avoid them now. Oh, Zaire Emery got one, did he? I wonder how good he'll be in FM next year. Jamal Lowe breaking away early. Good challenge from Ampadu, and eventually Leeds can break clear. This could be some counter through ball. Dan James a skin low for pace. He's in one-on-one. Dan James is through with the keeper. Oh, that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable composure from Dan James. I didn't know he had that in a locker, I'll be honest with you. runs in behind, brilliant work. The goalkeeper comes, maybe goes down a little early, but Dan James, the most delicate little dink, it barely leaves the floor, but it just deceives the keeper enough, goes over him, and into the back of the net for 2-0. That is an absolutely glorious finish. He's the sort of player, when he goes in, you just wonder, does he have that composure when he's got so much time to think about it? You bet he does. You bet he can think about it. Firpo with a great challenge on the edge of his own box. The pass from Joseph is brilliant. And Dan James is beating pretty much everyone for pace there. I mean, he's done the keeper. He's just done him inside out. He's done him inside out. Keeper dives to his left. He does him with the eyes. Not much in the dink at all. It's not even a great connection with the dink, but down into the middle of the net. That is easy as you like. Absolutely superb. Leeds 2 up, and my prediction is starting to look pretty good now. It's just a great goal. It's got the three elements you love in a football match, hasn't it? It's got the thunderous tackle on the edge of the box that beautifully and cleanly wins the ball. You've got the wonderful slid-through pass from midfield in behind, and then you've got the pace and the composure in front of goal. Dan James gets a booking for jumping into the crowd when he scored it. But he'll take it. That's a glorious finish. 2-0 Leeds United, and Sheffield Wednesday. I think what we're maybe seeing out of this is just how bad Plymouth are. Yeah, this guy, you mentioned he was in there, didn't you? Dan James indeed, Safori. Lovely goal. Really lovely goal. Jambo, what was the first clue? Oh yeah, no Liverpool. Right, sorry, I was trying to put links together until that goal went in. I'm guessing there's got to be a Saudi link, given that there's a couple of players there that have popped over to Saudi. I'm thinking Wijnaldum didn't play for Roma that long ago. Ryan is at Roma now. Could it be someone who's played at Roma or is still at Roma? Because it would have to be for Ryan to be an overlap. So I'm wondering, is it someone in the current Roma squad that might have played with a couple of them, but not a Liverpool? That's my next thought process there. There's no Saudi link. Right, okay. He didn't go straight to there's no Roma link, which has given me hope. I'm trying to think of people at Roma who might have played with some of the others then. We're going to park Morata for now, I think. Firmino and Mascherano is what I've got to work out. Firmino, then the link would either be Brazil or Hoffenheim. And for Mascherano, West Ham or Barca maybe. Ventura missed an open goal. Charlie, I bet you enjoyed that. The problem with my Roma process is I can't think of anyone there that it would be. Jumbo, there's no Roma link. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. And where the hell are the overlaps? I don't really know where Bobby Firmino was prior to Hoffenheim. So if he's played at clubs before that, I don't know. But then if it's not a Liverpool link and it's not a Saudi link, it can only be Brazil or Hoffenheim, can't it? Unless I don't know clubs before. Here come Leeds again on the counter. Do you know what? They're starting to purr here. Nonto turns. Tell you what, if Nonto stays, he could end up being a Leeds hero again, despite being the one that wanted to go at first. Rock on, Tommy. Hope everyone's having a good evening. Lovely to see you in. We're having a good one. It's a good game of football, this as well. Huesca beating Deportivo. Not the glorious revival for them then. Sporting Lisbon, a couple up in Portugal as well. Hamburg lost tonight to Hanover in the second tier in Germany. Bundesliga 2 is strong again, isn't it? Yeah, to be fair, Jambo's been on fire with the Hermines the last couple of weeks. They've been difficult. Trying to think who would have been about a Hoffenheim around there that would have had any chance of playing with some of them. The only other player I can even think of back then would have been Joel Linton, to be honest. But it's not going to be him. But then does it mean it's a Brazilian? Yeah, it could be Chelsea Morata. It could be Atletico Madrid Morata. No, I know it's not Joel Linton, don't worry. I'm a little bit stumped here. Are there any big names about then? I mean, the only other players I can think about from that era were Kevin Volland was the other striker they had, but I can't see how he would have played with most of them. They had, I can't even remember his name now, but the Bosnian guy who used to play in attacking midfield, who I always signed in FM. Stilijevic or something like that. But again, wouldn't be him. And I'm pretty sure Vestergaard played over there, but again, won't have played with most of the rest, which really does leave me a bit perplexed. And the only other Hoffenheim player I can think of from that era was Babel, but then it was no Liverpool link, and that would have fit otherwise for me. So by that process, it's got to be a Brazilian. So now I'm trying to work out a Brazilian who's played either for Barcelona or West Ham with Javier Mascherano. And Sheffield Wednesday get down the left, ball in, cleared away easily. Blimey, Zafori. That's bordering on addiction, that. You sound like me with the World Cup and Euro sticker books. Or Football Manager, whichever one you want. Then as this guy said, it could be Atletico, it could be Chelsea for Morata. Charlie, the family have stopped playing football and back watching the game. Only started watching after the equaliser. Glory hunters, isn't they? Charlie, you can't be having that. Let's get an update from the Halifax game as well. 20 to go. Still 1-0 Dagenham and Redbridge. Is it a Brazilian, Jambo? Fabinho was the answer to yesterday's, though, wasn't he? On the Twitch channel, I'm trying to remember. But then no Liverpool link, isn't it? Yeah, no Liverpool link. Sorry, I forgot. Valerie down the right for Sheffield Wednesday. Good cross. Meslier does well. Barry Bannon's touch. Pretty good. Just under so much pressure. They're stopping him from running the game. Yeah, right. That takes the Firmino link out. Oh, he said he's won the ball. That is a big call from the referee because that was a red card. And away one-on-one if not. Jamal Lowe puts it wide. I want to see a replay of this because Simon Hooper said that the player's got the ball. And if he hasn't, oh, I'm not sure he did. Because that was a 2-on-1. Clear goal scoring opportunity and may well have been a red. Danny Alves. Would he have played with all of them? He's a bit of an unmentioned name at the minute, isn't he? Didn't get the ball. He didn't get the ball. He got the man and then flicked the ball after it. Oh, who's the other one at Barca? Maxwell. Maxwell, Jambo. The left back. Yeah, we can't talk about him. Not today. Not Maxwell. Who else was Brazilian that might have played around the era? You wouldn't have had any in that West Ham team because Mascherano and Tevez were basically the only two that weren't in the Harewood Zamora bracket, weren't they? When would that Mascherano have gone over there? And then they've got to have played for someone Morata has as well, but then he's been at loads of clubs too, hasn't he? Rafinha's a good shout. I was going to say Adriano, the other fullback. I think that's who I meant when I said Maxwell as well. But Rafinha's a really good shout for both of you. I'm trying to think of other Brazilians that were in that Barca team. It's Rafinha or it's Adriano, surely. Rafinha is the answer. Well done, Simon. Well done, this guy. Ryan at Sociedad. Firmino, Brazil. Alvaro Morata, Spain youth. He's done it to us again. Jambo's done us again with the youth team. Mascherano, Barca, Wijnaldum, PSG. Well done. Simon, this guy. Well done. Very good effort from the pair here. 2-2. Leverkusen have conceded late on. It is 2-2. Gladbach a level. PSG still just a 5 up, I think. That is a big one. Jumbo is the king of the Who Am I's now. Tafori, you were right on cue with the Gladbach goal as well. Very good one. We will do the Who Am I in a couple of minutes. Just want to see the outcome of this injury to Iorfa. Sorry about the bad spelling. Hey, you weren't far off. Did the link pop up or do I need to put it in the Discord? What link have you got? I don't see a link on here. Don't really know how they work on the YouTube streams. I can't remember from back in the day. No worries, Jumbo. I'll keep an eye out. Tim Clydendeist. I mean, Si asked earlier if there were any teams that have surprised us early this year, negatively or positively. What about you? Has anyone surprised or not surprised you? Not been surprised by Plymouth defensively. Feel like I might be on point with my predictions about Hull and a couple of others. I mean, Millwall being the entertainers of the season maybe is a surprise. As we're back underway here with Leeds. Pretty comfortable, to be honest. Deportivo 1-0 down at half time. Beadle trying to play out the back for Sheffield Wednesday. Leeds are now pressing high. They fancy this. Nonto nicks it. They've just about got it back to the keeper in the end. And work clear. Right. It's that time of night. Let's get the Yorkshire ref out. Not showing you any more than that for legal reasons. See Jambo. You forget how good Chelsea were in FM15, weren't you? Wow, look at that Scottish Prem. 83-9. And then fourth are the third most. Another goal disallowed Sevilla Villarreal. Blimey, VAR's busy there. What about Racing third in the La Liga one there? I see. I was kind of the opposite. I thought Ayr would beat Airdrie comfortably, and they did. I'm not as surprised by that one. Oh, just wide. Long throw in from Sheffield Wednesday. Deep run from, I think it's to Sean Bernard. He's got a good head on that, to be fair. It's almost the back of his head. No, yeah, he didn't know anything about it. He was facing the wrong way, hit the back of his head. And it almost becomes a brilliant header. England €5, Croatia 4. I can see the Europa League being a bit more of a mixed one. Some interesting names in there, though, must be said. Leeds giving it away in their own half this time. Sheffield Wednesday not able to take advantage. Now Leeds have got a break on. Dan James stays onside on the right. Ball's not great out to him, but he does keep it in just. Two on the edge of the box. Overcooked his touch, was forced wide to Bogle. That delivery's a little high, but Firpo, oh, he slipped. He was about to have a free shot on goal. That's unfortunate. Yeah, some odd names in there. Anyway, let's get the order ref scenario out. I'm going to the back of the book because I don't want to find one that Charlie has done before. Or one of the ones we recorded recently. Spoiler alert coming in the international break. 10 minutes added on for Leverkusen. We all know what was coming last season, don't we? That'll be the real test of whether they're going to have a good year again. Let's see this. Oh, I like this. Hang on a minute. Don't get sued, Jambo, yeah. Hang on a minute. Okay, there's some... I'll be honest with you, going to the back of the book here has just made me realise how much Keith gave up towards the end. I don't think we've been this close towards the back. So here's your scenario. We'll do both of these because that's not great. As Leeds get in again and it's over from Joseph. Lovely football from Leeds. Not able to find a goal. Anyway, here's your first scenario. Let me know what you would do if you're the referee. You award a crucial late penalty kick. Before you blow for the kick to be taken, you see the defending side are trying to make a substitution. They want to bring on their penalty saving expert goalkeeper. Do you let them? So you award a crucial late penalty kick. Before you blow for the kick to be taken, you see the defending team want to make a substitution. They want to bring on their sub-goalkeeper who is a penalty saving expert. Do you let them? Let us know. What would you do? Yes or no? Tell us what you would do if you were Keith. Harvey, what a game you had. Goals galore. Any controversial decisions, Harvey, I guess is the question. How many of those goals are the home team going to be blaming you for? So I guess the key question out of that question is anyone saying no, you shouldn't be allowed to make it? I mean, I haven't looked at the answer. Well, play will have stopped to wait for the penalty to be taken, won't it? So unless he's blown his whistle to take the penalty, which he wouldn't, I can't see why you can't stop a substitution, can you? The same as if a penalty was given and a red card was awarded. The team could still make their sub before the penalty, couldn't they? To bring on the replacement for the player who's been sent off. Like if they needed to take off a striker for a defender or whatever. So I don't see why it would be a problem. Rock on Tommy, I wouldn't. Fair enough. I don't like it, but I think it's absolutely fine. PSG 6-0. Blimey. Dagenham still 1-up, yeah. This is Keith, so there is a twist. I tell you what. Yeah, but Charlie, you've forgotten something. This is the last page of the book. I'll give you one clue here. It's a 2-line answer. Goal Glentoran and goal Halifax, Zafori. Goals flying in everywhere apart from where we're watching now. It was a good game, Harvey. 2 at half-time, but the keeper made a howler just after the break and it killed the game. First half got a bit feisty, but nothing controversial, really. Fair enough. Jambo said yes before Harvey gets in. Fair enough. Oh, Leeds breakaway again. They've got a 2-on-1. Dan James sets it across for Joseph. Defender gets across pretty quickly, but he gets a good shot away. And Beadle does well to parry it away from the danger. Harvey, the question, nice and simple one in my opinion. I'll read it to you quickly again now. Wrong way up. You award a crucial late penalty kick. Before you blow for the kick to be taken, you see the defending side are trying to make a substitution. They want to bring on their penalty saving expert sub-keeper. Do you let them? Charlie, 2-line answer. In that case, you can make the sub and Keith is going to patronise us for suggesting you can't. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why the goalkeeper, it's not going to be any different, is it? You can make a sub in that situation. We've seen it so many times where someone will get sent off and then you'll get, particularly before the triple jeopardy rule came in, it would happen nearly every week. And then you replace an attacker with a defender, try and get an extra minute before the penalty. So yeah, I think everyone's in agreement here. As I thought, I have also got the Yorkshire Cricket Cup out for the Yorkshire Derby here tonight. Shall I give you the answer as you're all in agreement? And then we'll do the second one in a minute. The only thing you can't do after awarding a penalty is blow for full time. But if you're in a VAR league, Harvey, you can blow for full time and then award a penalty. One of the modern quirks Keith won't like. Anyway, let me give you the answer. Keith Hackett says, do you allow the substitution? Yes. If the team wish to make a substitution, this is allowed, provided they haven't used their allocation of substitutes. Keith, you've been paid a fortune for this book. Come on, son. Give us something. Yeah, Jambo won't be far. We're about 8 or 9 miles out from Headingley. But I've been to Headingley a few times because Tom, who's often in the FM chat, he was lived around the corner for it for a couple of years. Crossing to the box from Wednesday. Simon Hooper is suggesting that the Wednesday player went down pretty easily. Let's have a look. They've made a couple of subs as well. Ugbo 1. There's not a lot in that. Can't go down. Bus Jambo. £2 bus. About half an hour straight in. Kangin Lee scored for Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah, he's been getting a few minutes at the start of this season, hasn't he? Right, I'm going to give the second jaw the ref just because the first one was so clear-cut and easy in my opinion. So let's see what he goes for here. And I warn you, this one's got a slightly longer answer. I am Jambo. So here we go. What would you do if you're the ref or Keith Hackett? As Leeds get a... Oh, it's a goal kick Sheffield Wednesday. Leeds fans behind the goal not happy with that. Here we go. Breaking through a last-ditch tackle, a striker shapes to lob the goalkeeper, as we just saw with Dan James. But as he does so, his boot flies off and hits the keeper in the face. As the keeper stumbles, the ball drops into the net. What is your decision? Now, this has got to be pretty easy as well, hasn't it? I mean, I know what I'm thinking. If the boot comes off and hits the keeper in the face, that's just a foul, isn't it? Has to be ruled out. I can't see how a boot can hit the keeper in the face and not interfere. Only if maybe the ball's in before. Boot hasn't come off on purpose, but surely it's impeded the goalkeeper. It's impeded the goalkeeper from saving a shot. Because he's gone to make a save and then a boot's hit him in the face. Of course he's going to be. Tommy, I'm going to say foul to the goalkeeper. I've heard about this in Denmark, but it was with a prosthetic arm. Not the keeper out. Wow. And this never featured on Tales of the Unexpected. Why, Charlie? Foul for me, although by law, maybe an indirect free kick. Okay. Goal disallowed. Yellow cards. It wasn't intentional. Still, its face could be deemed dangerous. Yeah, I'm not sure you can give a card for it personally, but definitely got to be goal ruled out. It was, Charlie. In that case, I need a memory test as Leeds break away down the right. Dan James gets it from Nonto. Oh, good save, Beadle. The problem is Wednesday have gone for it with the changes and Leeds on the break when you've got Nonto, James and Joseph. So much pace. So much space. Steve, I'm not sure, but would guess that would be a foul. That'll be why then, Charlie, because I've remembered it for something else. Oh, my words. We need to bring back African Chronicles as well with some of the stuff going on over there at the minute. Oh, my word. They've done it again. Bayer Leverkusen in the 101st minute. Every time Bayer Leverkusen do it late, Florian Wirtz gets his second. There's a rebound from a penalty as well. They won a penalty, saved, and then he's put the rebound in. This time, Sevilla have equalised at last. That one in the 51st minute. 6th minute of stoppage time. Lots of goals going in the Welsh Premier League. And let's have a look at the Dagenham Halifax, see if it stayed 1-1 there. Halifax 1-1 in the 90th minute at the moment. All happening. And there is Zafori right on cue. Yep. Wirtz with the rebounds. Remember he tried to get... Yeah. I remember that bit. I remember that bit, Charlie. I don't remember it being related to the prosthetic arm as well. Has to be a free kick and classic, Keith. Note in your match report. Oh, will he mention the match report, Charlie? You're the only one to mention that there. Missed opportunity for Jambo. He loves the match report. Disallowed goal. Foul possible. Yellow card. Tied a shoelace before the game. Well, a lot of them don't have them now, do they? They just have slip-ons. The modern game. What's it coming to, eh? Smith's coming on for Sheffield Wednesday. Another attacking threat. Will it be Jamal Lowe? But they can't put 3 up there, surely. Gladbach win it late. Leverkusen win it late again. Albert Watsonov injured after a clumsy foul committed by him. Carrick already made all their subs down to 9. And what is it? 3-2, Charlie, at the minute. Glentoran. I mean, they've made hard work of that either way, haven't they? Oh, Charlie, also the big news for post-move. If we can get you and or Craig up for a northern game, the local curry house has both a banquet night and a buffet night. So you've got two nights with the 4-course meals. Can't remember what the other one's called. There's a banquet night and there's another night, but both from 4-course meals. All in under 15 quid. It's a cracker. Yeah, we've got Sunday and Wednesday, 2 choices during the week. Just the perfect way to do it. One of the oldest fish and chip shops in the country. I mean, it's all happening. So Simon, they do an all-you-can-eat one once a month, but the banquet night is like a 4-course. But you get absolutely loads with it. We were so surprised. Adam Senior scored the goal for Halifax. Wow. Yeah, we were surprised how much food we got. Quite a lot of bakeries and coffee houses as well. So there will be a lot of cakes consumed. I think it might be a rate the cake. Let's see what Keith's saying, Jumbo. Right on cue. Let's have a look. So you've all said disallowed. Let's see what Keith says. Oh, it's an interesting one. If you think the boot, an outside agent, clearly interfered with the goalkeeper's ability to defend, disallow the goal and restart with a drop ball. If you deem the boot did not interfere and the lob beat the goalkeeper, give the goal. But you've just said, hang on. As he does so, his boot flies off and hits the keeper in the face. How much more can you interfere than hit him in the face with a boot? I mean, I don't want to sound like Charlie did when the kids were just playing football a few minutes ago, but seriously, Keith, if a boot flying off and smacking a goalkeeper in the face isn't interfering with the keeper, then what on earth is? That's what I want to know. Not a foul regardless, no, Steve. So it's more an obstruction to play by an outside agent. I think Keith's basically saying it should have been treated like the beach ball incident should have been, which is disallowed in a drop ball. I get that, Si. If a boot flies off and smacks him in the face, surely. You changed to Jamal Lowe, or you're not getting much for him, unfortunately, apart from he did over 75 minutes, didn't he? What is wrong with this man, eh? He's old and grumpy, Keith. Barry Bannon, space to run into, 30 yards out, not a long way wide. Good effort, but thumbs up Sheffield Wednesday second half. They've not really created anything clear-cut. Yeah, back to referee school, Harvey. Keith is not happy with your decision. We're into the final 10 minutes here. Thank you all for being here as well. Really appreciated it. We've got another one to come in 3 weeks, and then we'll be doing 2 Fridays in a row. Both of them featuring Hull City, who should be the entertainers this season, but I may prove to be wrong once we get to it. Leeds breaking away again. Good challenge this time by Wednesday. Now, can they break and get one themselves? They're away down the right. Attempt at a foul by Ampadu. Doesn't win it. Make sure he does the second time. And he's got booked. The referee's come back. When did Simon Hooper learn the advantage role? To be fair, Keith was never the pinnacle of refereeing. That's not what he says, Simon. He always reminds everyone how special he was. His wording is so vague. Yeah, you do get very annoyed by his wording, don't you? To be fair, I did wonder if the keeper couldn't save it, if the goal would then be awarded, but I assumed that he'd be impeded by his wording. Yeah, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? Flies off into his face is pretty clear wording. Yeah, Luigi Collina, so good he got to be the front cover star of a video game ahead of all the players. Drop ball's what I meant when I said indirect free kick. I'm sure it was Harvey. That's the final page. Keith's run out of ideas, hasn't he? Absolutely right. Joel Piro's coming on. What's happened in his Genus situations? He seems to have changed his tune from the other day. Obviously spoke to his lawyer who told him he's not got a leg to stand on. A full-time Glentoran scraped the win against 9. That is not ideal, is it? Not ideal. I was thinking about being inside his box, so it would definitely be a drop ball to the keeper. I have no idea how indirect free kick came out. But it did, Harvey. That's what happens when you're under the pressure of you're the ref. Does it to the best of us. It's a bit sad, really, because this one just... We had a frantic last 20 minutes in the Blackburn Derby game a couple of weeks ago, but this one just seems to be petering out a little. It's almost as if Sheffield Wednesday have run out of idea. Yeah, Tommy, it's not a good look, is it? Here you go, Leeds on the break again. It's a late tackle. Going to be another yellow card. York's not had a good night, to be fair. He's a defender at his best who can be quite good. But that ain't a good tackle. Blame it on my concentration being used in the game, Harvey. I want to hear the fans' view from that match. Was it a similarly poor performance from you there? Oh, there we go. Carrick Glentoran has come up now. Let's have a look at this from the author. I mean, Junior Firpo's getting a little bit of comeuppance for having some of those ridiculous low shin pads, especially when you're a defender. Yeah, I mean, he had two of the big gigs, but you can't present the big ones on the BBC without some drama, can you? Harvey, you're doing a fine Keith impression. Absolutely, you'll be writing this book in 20 years. Uh, yeah, Charlie, I don't know. Unfortunately, with the way the rights packages are changing, I think Match of the Day will be going an unfortunate way soon. Ogbo shot the flex, easy for Medley. In the first half, the fans were saying all sorts, not happy at all, but they don't know the laws, especially the new handball. But I guess the key question is, Harvey, based on what we saw last season in some levels of football, do you know the new handball laws? Because a lot of referees would not be blamed for not knowing it, because most people just don't these days, do they? It's ridiculous. But hopefully you're on point with it this year. Carnarvon won 4-0 at Newtown in the end. Cardiff met Uni 5-1 at Brighton Ferry. Barla 2-0. Barry lost 1-0 at Aberystwyth. And Pennybont Haverfordwest. Game of the night. A 0-0 draw there. And Medina got a late win against Bari as well. Trying to keep up with my Italian football this year. You got to say Leeds are doing this really well, just making this game bitty. Lots of little free kicks and fouls. Joe Rothwell coming on now for Nonso, just slowing it down a little bit. There's a new handball rule. Steve, there's about 40 changes to the rules every year, aren't they? They said they'd simplified it, and then the description was less simplified than you've ever seen. Now, Leeds, bar James, have taken all the pace off now, haven't they? So I think we might see a bit more slow possession-based football. Yeah, we need to start doing those IFAB rule update videos each year again, don't we? Because that was quite an amusing one back in the day. PSG ended 6-0. Just bonkers. It's just not competitive, is it? I don't think we're going to get too much stoppage time here. There's 2 minutes to go plus it. The stadium is emptying at speed. Well, three ends of it are anyway. Can't remember the last year the handball law didn't change a bit. Yeah, absolutely that. I think unless this free kick goes in and creates a grandstand finish, it's going to be a point apiece for myself and Steve on the prediction front. Not quite the thriller we predicted, but that's credit to Leeds for escaping the early bit and then making it easy work after that. Little head injury for Gruev here, which will just add an extra minute onto the stoppage time, which we didn't really want. With his own teammate, I think. Oh, he took an elbow from Roden. What do we reckon? 5 added, maybe? Might be more than 5, will it? Bannon with a free kick. The corner, sorry. Headed away at the front post. Leeds have defended those wide areas really well, whether it's set pieces, whether it's just crosses into the box. Really dealt with them well. I think we're seeing while Sheffield Wednesday have made some progress, they're not going to be threatening those top sides this year. I know a few in the prediction show said, what about them for the outsiders of the playoffs? I'm not sure about that. Still need a bit of work yet. Four minutes added on, but Barry Bannon is down with a knock as well. He might have just gone down there to slow the counter attack a bit. Great question, Jambo. What rule would you change in football and why to make it easier for a referee? That's a good question. Chip over the top from Firpo. Oh, just behind Aronson. Is that a good game as well? I mean, it's got to be a bit of a concern for Sheffield Wednesday. What's happening in the last few minutes? There's going to be a couple of late subs here. Byram and Gelhart, I think, coming on. There's just not been a lot towards the end of the match. Not been a lot of spirit. Not been a lot of chances. Always interesting to see a rest perspectives after sucking off the Scottish ones. You never know, though. You might see Harvey refereeing in the flesh and say, what's going on here? Wouldn't want him in Scotland. You just don't know, do you? Or maybe it'd be a conspiracy theory for any ref. Aronson off for Byram and Gelhart on for Dan James, who has been the star of the show tonight. Really comprehensive performance. Showed why they're going to be up there. No, we've only got 4 added this guy, but or 7 added to your fantasy, is that? I'm playing a bit of catch up this weekend on the old fantasy EFL incidentally, because lots of people have got players in from the Thursday and Friday games. Whereas all of mine, I think, are the traditional Saturday 3 PMers. Big ball over the top, which Firpo's chasing again. The penalty to Rangers meme in Scottish football. Pubs do sweepstakes for a Rangers penalty. Oh, it's an awful conspiracy. Matteo Joseph's been given man of the match. I can see that as well. Good question. There's a few I don't agree with, but probably the fact that multiple players can surround you in a situation, and if they're not being aggressive, you can't book them. Yeah, it does seem odd. Because it doesn't allow you to stamp your authority. You're physically not allowed to, are you? That is a bit of a weird one. We're now seeing a bit of time wasting. I'm not really sure why, because there's only a minute of stoppage time to go. It'll be a short free kick. It'll be the seconds wasted. And it's a throw to Leeds. They're just seeing out the seconds. Really professional. They've completely taken the sting out of the last 15 minutes of this game. Although we're trialing the captain being able to talk to you, which is better. Yeah, because they trialed it in Euros and it worked really well, didn't it? Yeah, descent is so... It should be so easy to clamp out. They need to be consistent with the only the captain can talk. Feels like a lot of things where they're hot on it for a few weeks and then it goes back. Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, so it's only 4 minutes this guy. I think both teams have had enough. There is the final whistle. Yeah, some of those scenarios are awful, aren't they? And it would solve a lot of problems further down the pyramids as well and in non-league and Sunday league football. But anyway, the game is over. Leeds win comfortably. Sheffield Wednesday, bar the first 20 minutes, didn't really offer a lot, to be honest. And Leeds saw them off pretty comfortably. A good win for the side who were favourites for the title. And another successful stream over here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the chat. Our red card for diving, Harvey. Yep. They brought in a retrospective ban, didn't they, for a while in Scotland and then got rid of it all again. No idea why. But I'm in agreement with that. A quick rundown of the schedule as well. Sunday and Monday morning UK time over on the Twitch channel for FM. This next stream here will be the Friday after the international break. And we'll also have the predictions for the championship next weekend. You can see the predictions for the other 11 games somewhere around the channel in the eye above whatever else. Charlie's been in as well. Thank you to him for being here. And thank you everyone for getting in on the chat. I'll see you again soon. Have a good evening.